She's back, and you guys know who I'm talking about. Jan. Jan from New York City, as you can see, is right alongside with me. But before we continue, I will be right back.
I love that intro,
You
Steve.
like that one? Yeah, like I said, I've got a few over here that I can pick from. I have about 6 or 8 over here that I can tap on with the different music. So sometimes when I go to tap on something, I may get the right scenery, but I may not always get the right music. But in any case, I mean, it doesn't matter. All the music choices that I pick, I like to think that are good. Now, Jan from New York City Saves Money is here along with me, as I mentioned a minute ago. Welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, so today, from what I understand, you've got some swap outs, I believe it is, that you wanted to discuss.
Yes, Steve. Oftentimes we talk about repurposing things, but in this case, I want to talk about like little things that we could do with our food, for example, just to doctor it up a little bit. And I have a mixed bag of ideas. Thanks so much. Hope
Hmm.
everybody's doing well. Nice to see you again. A lovely Saturday afternoon it is indeed. Now, this one, I'm going to call this a food reboot, and I learned this technique from someone else on this platform a while back. I don't remember specifically the channel, but I remember it was from someone else on this platform. You get a can of peas. Now, to how many out there like split pea soup? You're looking around, you don't feel good, you need a little soup. You don't have any soup. You find a little can of peas, regular peas, the one in the can. What you do is you put it in a saucepan in its juices. You heat it up just like that. And then what you're going to do with that, you're going to add a little bit of milk, a little bit of butter, and perhaps a pinch of garlic powder to that. Some people might add a little bit of the powdery chicken flavor to that. I don't. But I take that mixture after it's heated up, I put it in my blender. Voila, I have a perfect pea soup. Now, honestly, the better way to do it is really, this is just one way of doing it. In my opinion, the better way to do it is to heat it up, but not piping hot. Just heat it up a little bit. You could always return it to its saucepan to heat up. You have yourself a very fresh tasting, inexpensive pea soup. Oh, and may I add, this is going to really be the kicker. If you have powdered creamer, okay, while you're heating it up, put about a teaspoon or a tablespoon of the powdered creamer in there. You have yourself cream of split pea soup, we'll call it, or green pea soup. It is so frapping good. I've done it. It's delicious. Make yourself some toast. You got yourself a quick meal on the cheap. It doesn't get better than that. And next, now if you run out of cereal, if you run out of oatmeal, look in your pantry. More than likely, you probably have some rice. Sometimes some people use the instant style rice. It's okay. You can use that in a pinch. Or you just make it easily, like the easy way that Steve always, describes how to do it. You make it, warm it up with a little bit of warm milk, cinnamon, a pinch of sugar, and that, just like a cereal, just like an oatmeal, it's delicious. You got yourself a rice cereal. So if you have no oatmeal, if you have no other stuff, this is a wonderful cereal replacement, especially on those soon to be here fall days. Right now it's August at this taping, but fall will be here very, very soon, and the nippy days will be coming. Next, tuna fish. I have done this myself, and I have found that the tuna, specifically the tuna fishes that's in the pouch one, has remarkably less water in it. Okay, so that's why it's ideal for this specific recipe. If you want to have an easy to make fish cake, you could take that tuna because it's pretty much drained out, season it up to the way you like it. You could add an egg. You could add a little bit of maybe mashed potato flake or slash breadcrumb, flavored breadcrumb or panko breadcrumb. A little bit of garlic powder if you like. Put it together and make little patties out of it. And then you could slowly fry them in your skillet, flip them over. Delish. Talk about an interestingly cheap meal, but it's delicious. Team that up with a bowl of string beans or a tomato salad, and you got yourself a very quick, easy, and inexpensive meal. Speaking of oil, I don't know about you, but I don't like the taste of very, very greasy food. I just can't stand it. So for me, I have very good preference when using canola oil. Canola oil is one of those good for you oils that you just don't taste oil. It just helps you complete your mission to fry what you have to fry. So for me, this kind of swap out is a great thing. And it used to be cheaper. I say used to be cheaper than olive oil, but it's catching up. It is absolutely catching up in price. Unfortunately, like so many other things, but I do like it as far as the non greasy taste. Next, cut up an actual potato. You want to watch a movie, the kids are with you, you don't have a snack. You look around, you realize, wait a minute, I have an actual real potato. It could be a white potato, it could be a sweet potato. Cut that up thinly. In the case of the sweet potato, I like to make it in the form of little sticks. And in the white potato, I just cut them up as thinly as possible. Season it up, non-stick spray on it, season it up, throw it in the air fryer for X number of minutes to the preference that you like it in the flavor and texture. You got yourself a very fast, cheap, and easy movie with your family snacks without leaving the house, without spending a ton of money on other snacks, and relatively healthy. After all, it is a potato, right? Um, double your volume of your batches of homemade meatballs by this simple trick. They used to call them porcupine meatballs back in the old days. I think right after World War II. And basically, what women or men or anyone would do would put together some pre cooked rice, already done up rice, and add it to their meat mixture, their ground beef mixture. I would imagine the same theory would work with ground turkey if that's your personal preference. And if you enjoy rice, you are increasing the volume, pretty much almost doubling the volume. My guess, actually, as far as bigness goes, I would say you're probably going to get about what you usually get plus half more. So it all depends. I mean, I can't think of a cheaper and easier way to expand your meat. That's really absolutely wonderful. Next, don't throw away your walnuts or your almonds because they went rancid. Well, why did they go rancid? Because they were not packed properly. I always, if I have walnuts in my house, I always freeze them. They last much, much longer. And when I want a quick snack, I actually like to eat a cold frozen walnut. Don't ask me why, but it tastes better that way. You could do the same thing with pecans, however which way you prefer to say it, or other nuts as well. It extends the life of the nut because the oils is what turns it rancid if it sticks around in the environment much too long. You really, really do need to freeze them. Turn leftover cooked rice into an easy fried rice by using up stuff that you already have. I saw in a video not that long ago that when people prepare Chinese fried rice authentically, that they prefer it as the rice being cooked and put away one day. It is not preferred using fresh rice from a half hour ago. They actually prefer it in their recipes to be waiting from the refrigerator for one day. For some reason, it makes the meal work better. That's part of the authentic recipe. So there you go, Steve.
Wow. All right. Well, as far as everything that you said, you know what? Let me expand this out. But you know what? Everything that you mentioned, all of the porcupine meatballs and the split pea soup, and when you thought of the powdered creamer, I thought of it at the same time because I've done that.
Yum.
I've only done that with the Progresso split pea with ham. I did add a couple of teaspoons of it, and what it does is it ferments up the, the, the broth or whatever you want to call it, the soup mix. It thickens it up a little bit.
Yes. And
Um,
it's a creamier texture.
it is, but I'm all for everything, all of the recipes and all the little things you mentioned. Who doesn't like a good plate of fried rice? I know I do. I never knew that it's good to take rice, white rice, put it in the refrigerator, and then drag it out the next day, and then do what you want to. And it and when I stop and think about it, it makes sense because what that's going to do is it with the hot cold condensation of it in the fridge. I think what it might do is soften up the rice a little bit more. If
It
you think,
must, because this is like an Asian, this is preferred by some Asian recipes. I saw it on the video, and the person that ran the video with the specific recipe was Asian, and she explained that the authentic way is to not like make that rice a half hour earlier and then use it, but let it wait a while, let it sit. Best if in the refrigerator overnight. This is what the lady said.
mhm. Yeah, so I mean, like I say, I've had the porcupine meatballs before. If you don't have cereal and you want to, you can. I've done that before. I've had it. You can actually take rice and make like a cereal with it. Put a little milk in it, a little bit of sugar,
Delicious.
and doctor it up however you want to do it. A little bit of cinnamon. It's almost like eating a rice pudding in a rice cereal kind of way. If you stop and think about it, but it's pretty good. I've done that. Um, there's so many different ways, and like I say, I always go with the bagged rice and use my method of cooking rice. There's nothing wrong with the success rice or boil in the bag. I personally have never used it. I know that it's a good product, but I've just learned to cook it using a bag of rice. You pay a buck 50, a couple of dollars, or whatever it is, 99 cents. I don't know. I haven't bought rice in a while, but and then just go that route, and then less than a minute or two, poof, you got rice already made. So that's how I've been used to doing it all along. But sure, there's so many different ways. Like I had mentioned this before. You tried it. If you don't have breadcrumbs, you can always take oatmeal, put it in your meat mixture, and make a meatloaf with it,
So good. So, so good.
and it will expand. And it's also very healthy because when is oatmeal not a healthy thing? It's good for you in so many ways. I know that it is as a cereal. It's also good to help reduce cholesterol if you eat it every day for 30 days. They say it's supposed to help you in that respect, but no, that works as a very good swap out. If you don't have breadcrumb and you have a thing of oatmeal, go grab it. Another good swap out, you want to make a pie, a no bake pie, whatever the pie may be. You don't have graham crackers, get you some Pop Tarts. I did that one. You know that one firsthand because I did that about
Delicious.
5 years back when I did a chocolate pie. I took a chocolate mocha Pop Tart, ground it up, a little bit of butter, made pie crust. I took it and put it in the pie tin. They don't make that flavor anymore. Pop Tarts has discontinued it. But I tell you what, that come out great. The two textures, the chocolate and the mocha, chocolate mocha combined. Forget it. It was really good. So yeah, there's so many different things and ways you can go to swap out. One more that I want to throw in, if you don't have any milk, you can always use flavored creamer like vanilla or whatever you want in hot cereals. You can also do that in the case of making French toast. French vanilla works great. If not French vanilla, get some Cinnabon International Delight. That one works better than any of it. That's got your cinnamon, your vanilla, and all that in one. It's all in one shot. So you just pour, beat, and then you just take your bread and put it in the skillet, and you're good to go. You're done. It's a
Amazing.
shot. So sure, there's so many different kitchen swap outs that you can go with, that you just have to use your imagination more or less.
And I just want to throw in just one last thought here.
Okay.
None of the stuff that I mentioned as the add ons are expensive. Most people have rice, and even if you don't, rice is fairly cheap. Oatmeal, to get better prices, it's still fairly cheap. And by
Mhm.
the way, a word to the meatloaf thing with the uh, oatmeal. People who are skeptical about trying that, you're not going to bite into meat and a bowl of oatmeal. They vanish. All it does is make your meat moist. That's
It
it.
does. Yeah, and that's not even my recipe. That's something that my dad on his own volition thought up. And it gets a little bit better. I'll branch onto that as well. He was needing another swap out. He didn't have ketchup. So what does he do? I always used to have some spaghetti sauce in reserve in the refrigerator because you can do so many things with spaghetti sauce.
True.
So he just took a couple tablespoons of that, two tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, I can mixed it in. Oh my gosh, because the spaghetti sauce has everything in it. All your flavorings are there. And then when your spaghetti sauce sits in the fridge for a day or two, the taste is even better because it marries.
You are so right. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in this afternoon. Thank you for
My pleasure.
being here today, and
Thanks for having me.
not a problem. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and bring in an outro, and then we'll go ahead and tell
Give
everybody good
away.
day and wish them a good day. All right, everybody. Have a good Saturday. Have a nice weekend. And I will see you guys back here on Tuesday. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.